Well, here's the new setup.
The tables have turned.
Literally.
Well, yeah, literally. Why do you think I said that?
You know, I'm going to send you my doctor bill when I get a crick in my neck from looking over at you like
So don't look at me. Look at our crew. Don't be looking at me.
Hey, guys.
Hey, girls. You don't assume gender like that without balancing it.
We also have a different audio setup here. It's we weren't using the DB boosters before. You have a
Cloudlifter CL1,
right? And I have a Fethead.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes it won't get through the door over here.
And you know, you already had the Cloudlifter, so I figured, well, I'll save $50, and I don't
compare. I think it's great. I think we should move my amp over here and put you in a vocal booth and just record the same verse over the same, music, and see what it does.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I just tracked vocals to a song over the weekend, and I trust
Sesame Street.
My guitarist is the one that mixes and engineers all this stuff, and I trust his ears way more than mine. And he said,
"Yeah, he's amazing."
He said, "Yes, he is." He said that the Fethead, the Cloudlifter, is about 10% better.
Well, now, did you look at the specs between the two before you bought it?
Well, I think the Cloudlifter, it claims to have 5 more dB boost,
Really?
volume boost.
Sorry,
It wasn't
that was bothering me. I wanted it out of my way. I won't be throwing stuff.
It wasn't the extra 5 dB that made the difference. The way he explained it to me was that the Fethead colors the sound a bit.
Really?
And the Cloudlifter has no coloration.
Did not know that.
And he said when you're using a SM7, like we're talking through here, and I use this mic to...
It's an SM7B as a broadcast.
Record. Yeah, SM7B. But he said it's almost like too much of a good thing because the Fethead's coloring it, and so is the SM7B. And so he said if I had to choose, probably would go with the Cloudlifter, but he said he's got no problem doing the whole record with the Fethead. So
interesting. Well, I mean, if you decide you want to try it, like if he, he's the master, so if he thinks that the Cloudlifter may do better, service for you on a certain part of a song or a certain song, whatever. These damn producers, man.
Well, he just said
they tend to know stuff that we just don't know.
Oh, he definitely knows stuff. But
so
anyway, he said, yeah, you might want to eventually get one, but he said, for all intents and purposes, the Fethead for this record will be fine. So I don't think I would hear the
But overall, though, I mean, you're content with money spent, right? I mean, you're content. Like it's doing the job for you.
The pro with using the Fethead over the lifter was that with the lifter, when I'm tracking ideas at home, I have to have 2 XLR cables on either end of this thing to use it, and the Fethead is just an inline, just pops right.
Right, you can plug it directly into the back of your interface or the back of your mixer. It just goes in line, like you said. The Cloudlifter goes in line as well, but it has you have to plug 2 mic cables into it. It can't take the place of a mic cable or go in line. Right. Yeah.
So basically,
but they both require phantom power. So if anybody decides to try that, just don't forget to turn your phantom power off before going back to a regular mic, regular dynamic mic.
If you need boost on your dynamic mic, the Fethead will save you $50 or $60, and you don't have to have 2 cables.
It comes with a little bag, doesn't it? It comes with a hard tube, doesn't it? And like a little tube that it goes in.
Yeah, hard tubes.
Well, I don't want to know what you do with that tube when I'm not looking.
So, have you seen Sacha Baron Cohen's new project he's doing? Do you know who Sacha Baron Cohen is?
Yes, Borat, Ali G,
Bruno.
Yes.
He also
very nice.
He also did The Dictator. He had one of those.
I didn't watch that one.
Yeah,
I didn't watch. By that time, I was kind of Sacha Baron Cohen out. He was also, I forget his name, but he was in Talladega Nights as the Perrier driver, the French guy.
So his new show is coming to Showtime, and you know he was
Look at the
previously
camera over there.
he was previously on HBO.
Yeah, well, the Ali G was on HBO. I don't know if he was any. Did he do any other character based shows with HBO that you know of?
No, just that one. He had those
Just
3
the Ali
characters.
G.
He had Bruno, Borat,
One.
and Ali G on HBO, and it was like a 30-minute show, you know, that would come on once a week.
Big ups
Yeah.
to my man Derek
Booyakasha.
sitting in the chair.
Check it. Wicked.
That dude. What was that? That was like back in like the mid to late '90s, wasn't it?
No.
Or yeah, it sure was.
No,
It
this was
sure-
like-
telling you, man. I've got
No.
him. I've got him on DVD.
This was like 2006.
No, that was Borat and all that, man. He
got-
was doing Borat like during the HBO show.
Well, his new thing is on Showtime, and it's called Who is America?
Oh no.
Personally, I caught a teaser of it, watched a teaser on YouTube, and his makeup, he's basically got, you know, like prosthetics or something on to where his face looks, his jaw is more square, and and he's trying to be, I guess, Middle Eastern, but without a beard. If that makes sense. So it's kind of like, it's like he's got a shaved head but a square jaw, and I don't know if he's Middle Eastern.
Any kind of comment that I could add in right here would seem utterly racist, and I don't want to do that. So
Maybe it's a German accent. I really don't know, but if he was to call me and want to get an interview, I would know right off the bat that he was Sacha Cohen. Like, it wouldn't fool me in the least.
well, I mean, I think, well, I don't know, man. I don't really, in my daily life, I don't really run into people doing crazy stuff like that. So, but if I did, I would have to wonder, was it a gag?
All right. Well, Sarah Palin's really upset.
About what?
He did an interview with her, which is not part of the teaser that I saw, but
Did he bring up? Never mind. I ain't even want to talk about that.
I don't know. You know, she thought she thought, obviously, just like everybody does with his skits. You know, she thought it was a legitimate interview, and she didn't know it was like a comedy show, and so she left pretty angry. And then supposedly,
Let's go back
I
to
don't know.
Alaska.
she thinks that they made her miss her plane on purpose, even taking it too far.
Did you know you could see Russia from her house?
Really?
Or some I think she said that once.
Hey, some of those crab boats up that way, they end up in Russian waters and they have to turn around.
Ooh.
Can get pretty scary.
Ooh. Man, you watch that show? That was it Deadliest Catch and all that? Man, that's no way, man. Ain't no money.
They make a lot of money.
I
real
don't
quick,
care.
though.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't even want to go out on a boat with you on the lake to have fun. No offense. It ain't you. I'm not. I don't have sea legs. I'm not good on boat. I mean, I've been on many boats. I've been sailing and all that stuff. I've been on bass boats and fishing. And
Sailing's a lot of work.
then I've been on pontoons and been on, cool, nice, good sized boats, yacht type boats, house boats and shrimping boat. I was a shrimping boat captain once. But it's just not my thing, man.
The in the teaser I saw, he interviews pretty much a bunch of Republican, I guess, congressmen or whatever. I don't really know for sure, but I think all of them had an R by their name. Anyway,
What does that mean? Registered trademark?
I think it's Republican, but anyway, he gets out of, I don't know, 5 or 10 of them, he gets about 99% of them to agree on camera during the interview that we should teach kindergartens and preschoolers how to use firearms, and so they can protect themselves in the school. And he even got one to do an infomercial type thing where there's a stuffed animal over the pistol, and but anybody that
They should
would,
put that crap on Netflix.
I guess what he, I mean, and yeah, it's comedy, it's just the purpose of just trying to get a laugh, so it's entertainment. But at the same time, It does make you question, like, who are we putting in office? These people that will agree to this idea, of arming children.
Well, a gun in every backpack, chicken in every pot.
Mm.
And a Toyota in every garage. It's the American dream.
And speaking of new shows, have you seen the new Hereditary movie? The new horror movie?
No, I'm not. I don't go to the movies.
I went to the theater and checked it out, and they're saying it's as scary as The Exorcist and all of this.
But you saw it though.
Mm-hmm.
So is it?
No. Is it?
Although I mean, yeah. Well, but see, scary is a subjective term. I mean, you may be less easy to scare than the person who sat next to you or sat behind you. So
Right. Well, you're
like a 5-year-old probably is scared the living crap out of them.
You're asking me if it's scary. Well, or scary as The Exorcist. Well, I didn't think The Exorcist was scary. It's a classic movie. Is this a classic? I don't think so. For me, they ruined it at the end. It took me out of the immersion. I didn't believe it at the end of it. They went a little too far over the top with it. But up until that point, it was phenomenal.
Did you get popcorn?
Oh yeah.
Big soda
with the melted butter and everything.
Did you get soda?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you sent me a photo of your butter, of you getting the butter. I wasn't sure what you were doing.
Well,
there.
you're a popcorn fanatic, and you have a popcorn machine in here.
I love popcorn. That is one of those things. I've got 2 living rooms, and one of them is decorated like a movie, with all the the Hobby Lobby, movie decorations. And I saw that on sale, and I thought it was kind of cool for the money, so I grabbed it. And it's a popcorn machine. It's like a vintage popcorn machine with a glass window.
And why is it every time I send you a picture of popcorn or the new recliners at the theater or something, you're always like, FaceTime me so I can see.
I said FaceTime. Yeah, when you go to the movies,
I get kicked
when
out
you message me, you're like, I'm at the movies, and I'm like, cool, FaceTime me so I can watch the movie too. I just want to see if you'll do it.
I'm not going to get kicked out of the movie and waste my money.
Yeah, I don't care. It ain't me. I'm not the one who get kicked out. I wish there was a way to record FaceTime. That'd be, I'm committed to memory.
So when I talk to you about Hereditary, for the people that are listening to this or watching, should I do a spoiler review here?
Negative. I don't think you should. I think you should say if you liked Saw, or if you compare it to another movie that may be classified with the same qualities. If you liked It, the remake of It, then you'll like, whatever you called that, Hereditary.
If
you liked in Insidious, if you liked,
To me, it doesn't really compare to any other movie. It's definitely unique, It's unique.
Well,
I'll give it
then
that.
say that. It's. Would you say if you're a diehard fan of that genre and the trailer looked good to you, then
you have
to drop
yeah.
your money, or
you have to watch it.
But if you're not, wait for the DVD. I mean, what would you say?
I'd say don't watch it with your family. Is what I'd say.
Well, my family, is not really into that stuff. So I mean, I'd watch it, but the wife has just decided that she doesn't want that.
I'm just saying you wouldn't watch it with
and
the in-laws or something, or your grandparents. Or
did you hear about the what went down today? I guess it's within the last 12 to 24 hours, about the European Union fining Google something like $5 billion. Something to do, and I don't know all the details, so please, if you're interested in this, dig it up yourself. But something to do with it has Google, all the Android phones has the Google browser, which is Chrome, and all the searching softwares links are set up to Google. Everything's set for Google. So anyway, so European Union was like, this is crap. It's illegal. They fined them $5 billion with a B, which is like 4.34 billion euros or whatever, and gave them, I think, 90 days to change it. And of course, Google filed an appeal. But I thought that was $5 billion, dude. That's
That's not a chump change.
Dude, I would take 0.1% of that and be happy.
Why is it that Amazon and Google don't seem to have a figurehead or a spokesman like, Elon Musk is known for PayPal, and you have Zuckerberg known for Facebook. I couldn't tell you what the Amazon guy looks like or the Google.
Well,
guy.
he's out there. He's out there. The owner, like the guy, he's out there.
But you ever wonder how come they're not in the media?
He's out there
as much?
whenever like they were talking about having the drones start delivering packages and all that stuff. He was doing like a keynote kind of a speech about it. And when they came up with this Amazon key, about that Amazon key, it's been out. They started talking about it like 6 months ago or so.
Is that where you walk into a store and just get what you need and walk out?
No, it's Amazon
and
Key.
It charges you.
That's where you have like one of those Ring doorbell things with the camera on it or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And you have a certain Bluetooth style or Wi-Fi enabled whatever deadbolt, and it's Amazon Key. I think you can actually buy the hardware for this from Amazon, and it's called Amazon Key. And the delivery person, like with groceries and stuff, can like get into your house, go put your groceries up for you, put your cold stuff in the cold section. And it's
No,
like,
thanks, I'm good.
Dude, when I first heard about that, I was a big giant supporter of hell no.
Right.
I mean, I don't have nothing to hide in my home, but I also don't really, I don't even like my own kid going in there. To be honest with you, no offense. There's no offense to my daughter.
I mean, it would take me a while to get used to a cleaning service. I haven't even done that.
Not that I could afford it. Not that I would afford it. My level of clean is totally different than say somebody else's. So
I've debated it, but I just don't like the idea of somebody in my house if I'm not there.
Yeah.
But Amazon does have this new thing I heard about where, and I'm sure they're going to sell this off to Walmart and whoever else wants it. But it's basically a store with no employees. All they have is cameras. You go in there. You don't check out or anything. You don't scan your items.
Well, yeah, you just walk in, take stuff, and
leave, and it charges your Amazon account.
What I saw was videos. Then it kind of reminded me of those airport kind of stores that are in the airport terminals. Okay, yeah. Where they're about like those magazine stores.
Yeah.
And you walk in there and they have like $5 Cokes and $4 dollar-sized bags of chips, and they're about that big, and they have like RFID kind of things. I guess you have to be like logged in with your app, and you walk in there, grab it, and just walk out. Like you don't have to scan it or anything, and it just charges your account. So what do you think about the Parker space probe?
They're going to probe the sun, right? That's pretty crazy.
Well, I don't know if they're going to probe it, but they're going to go to it. I think didn't they say 24 times? It's going to go around the sun, and the heat shield is going to somehow. It's got like a gyroscope on it, or many of them, and it's going to correct itself to keep the shield pointed at the sun, so everything on it doesn't burn up, and then it's going to pass. It's going to come back to Venus's orbit, and then turn around and go back. And I think they're expecting it to go 24 times, which means, and like a handful of those times, it's going to actually be next to Venus too, like up close and personal with Venus, which is going to be really cool. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, and I think I don't really get into this space stuff that much, as you can tell from our last episodes. Never watched Star Wars, don't care. So I'm not a dreamer like that. I don't have an imagination. But yeah, and it's going to be traveling. I think they said, I heard one say 430,000 miles an hour, and I heard one say 450,000 miles an hour. That is, I think it's the fastest they've ever had one.
Well, when they're in orbit in the shuttle, or the space station, I mean, they're booking.
They're booking.
They're going around it.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I actually watched like I want to call it a keynote speech, but I don't know what it was called. It was like a class that they were talking about this thing for an hour, and it was really interesting. I think it was like last month that they did it. It was like 3 or 4 of the people who actually worked on it. These people got bigger brains than my body. It's woof. Anyway, I didn't hear them comment on the reasoning that they were going to have it come all the way back, and almost touch Venus and almost like interact with Venus virtually every time it comes back to the orbit of Venus. And that kind of reminded me of the Voyager one that they were Netflix. The reason that the reason that they were getting so close to these planets was because it would somehow the orbit of the planet, somehow it would transfer energy and slingshot them. And I'm thinking that maybe that's why they're coming back to Venus and going around Venus and then slingshotting.
Yeah, that Netflix documentary,
it was pretty cool. I watched it last night.
Voyager the Furthest,
something like that. And I didn't know that there was 2 of them. I thought there was only one. So
did you see the part where Carl Sagan told him to turn it around and take a shot of?
Yeah, it's pretty cool,
Earth.
Man. Yeah, we ain't nothing, dude.
Just a tiny little.
We ain't nothing. We're an ash on the table.
Right. Mars will be the closest it has been to us since 2003.
Yeah.
On July 31st of this month, it'll be the brightest and the closest and everything. So,
July 31st. Yeah. See, that was the initial launch date for the Parker. Pardon me. Probe, but I guess they found a leak in one of the lines or something, and it's been pushed. Last I seen it was August 4th was the earliest date that it might go up. The part I found interesting about it was that there was a lady. I'm probably going to get her name wrong because I should really write things down. I want to say her name was Baba Raga, something like that, not Lady Gaga. She was blinded at an early age by a storm. The only thing I could think that would do that would be lightning. And when she went blind, she also developed a way to like basically tell the future, to like prophesize, which is interesting. And from what I've read, like 85% of her predictions have actually come to fruition.
Well, in some cases, when people get struck by lightning, they have special abilities afterwards.
Well, I mean, I got not directly zapped by a bolt, but I had one of those like heat flashes.
What?
I was
Did your hair stand up on end?
I was 16 years old. I was bagging groceries in Florida, and it was dumping rain, like hurricane style dumping rain. No wind like that, but the parking lot had gotten roughly about that deep to where when you walk, it actually splashed. It was probably 3-4 inches deep of water in the parking lot. I don't know if you know this, but Florida is basically at sea level, so there's hardly anywhere for the water to go. And I was pushing a grocery cart, big old piece of metal, walking through water that was covering my feet, and I felt the flash. And back then I had long hair, and I felt it all go whoosh, like stand up like this, and then my feet got numb. And I went in, and they, Publix they have like a park bench, and like up front, and I just sat down on that inside the store near the service desk, and my manager comes in and was like, "Why aren't you bagging groceries, homeboy?" And I'm like, "'Cause my feet are numb." And he's like, "Why are your feet numb?" I said, "I'm not sure, but I think I just got hit by lightning." And he was like, "Oh my God." And I told him about it. He was like, "You probably just took a little bit of a charge." So, but I didn't get any special abilities. I even like checked. I went, "Hey, is it all right if I go to the man, I still stutter. Damn it. Didn't fix that problem.
You knew a guy though he actually got killed by lightning.
I know a guy. Right? We knew him by Ace. I apologize to him for this, but I forget his actual name. He went by the name Ace because he was a huge Kiss fan. He was 21 years old. I think I was 19 back then, and he was we lived on the beach side in Satellite Beach in Indian Harbor Beach, Florida, and he liked to fish, off the shore, with a big giant, have a couple of rods, you know, and then you get these corkscrew things that you put in the sand, and it like holds your rod for you.
Right.
These things are huge, man. They're like 20 foot, and like the reels on them are like massive. Well, he liked to do that and throw out a couple lines and just chill. And one time he was reeling one in, you know, reeling one in. I don't think he had anything on the line. That never really came up. But he was reeling one in, and the tide had kind of come in and was in his feet. Lightning hit the water near him, you know, in decent proximity, and he died from it. The charge went through the water and bzz, killed him.
It's terrible. Speaking of lightning, in Houston, Texas, I believe, recently they had a giant ring show up on radar, and it just kind of went out like this. And it was as big as the city, you know.
Like a weather radar kind of thing?
Yeah, and it just looked like this giant ring that
they had that here.
went out like this. Anyway,
it was birds.
Yeah, they claimed it was birds.
Yeah.
I've never seen a flock of birds
They had
as
two
big as
here.
a city.
They had two that was south of here, way south, kind of in the middle of the state towards the next state to us. And they were showing them that there were these blue rings, that there were two of them, and they said it was some kind of a bird. I can't remember the name of the bird, but I was like, how the hell are there that many birds in one area?
Yeah, I mean, it was big as the city, you know. I mean,
it's like Bonnaroo for birds or something.
I don't know. I don't know. That was crazy though.
But yeah, this Baba Raga, whatever her name is, pardon me if I got it wrong. She had predicted that in 2018, we would find a new source of energy in Venus. So when I kind of seen the Parker space probe and how many times it's going to interact with Venus, it kind of made me think maybe that's it. I mean, you never know, man. That'd be cool though, isn't it? If we found some way, maybe not like we're going to like run a power line to Venus and start drawing power off of it, but if we learn something regarding magnetics and certain gases, and we put that to use here to provide clean power for us and get us off of oil and stuff like that.
That's what classifies you as what they call, I guess, a class 1 civilization, is if you can harness all the power of your star, basically the sun.
Is that like some something you heard from Yoda, or is that really something that they...
It's something that scientists have came up with, where they're just trying to, I guess, better explain what types of intelligent life could be out there. And so basically we're a class 0 and a class...
Why are we a class 0?
And a class 1 would be where we can harness all the energy from our star.
Like sun. You mean like the sun?
And a class 2 would be like you'd be able to travel throughout your solar system. And a class 3, you would be able to travel to different galaxies. So that's a Star Wars level class 3.
Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic. I mean, do you believe in prophecies at all, or do you just find them interesting at all, or do you just like totally just dispel them? That's a bunch of hooey.
Prophecies?
Yeah, Nostradamus and that kind of stuff. The ones that have basically proven themselves they just, because this, I hate to keep on saying her name, but the Baba chick, she passed away in 1996. And in 89 she predicted 9/11.
Really?
She sure nailed it. Read what she put on it. I'm not going to bother quoting it, but it involved 2 steel birds and 2 rocks.
Well, this is going to sound crazy.
Twin
I don't know
rocks.
if I've ever told you this, but...
Oh, no.
I
knew it. Go ahead.
I had a reoccurring dream my whole life,
and
it stopped a few years before 9/11. And what the dream was is there was a sense of urgency. I would wake up from this dream and have a sense of urgency. And that it was really important, whatever it was trying to show me. And I was up in the air flying towards a city,
like
a big bustling city.
You like got a cape on, or
no?
No, was you in your underoos?
I was in something. I can't tell you if
Wonder
it was
Woman.
a plane or what. I just know I was in it, and it was very important that I was flying. I was kind of at an angle coming down to this city.
You're on a descent, yes.
And that Pink Floyd song, Welcome to the Machine, would always trigger that memory of that dream.
To the machine.
Where have you been? It's all right. We know where you've been.
Well, then why did you ask?
But anyway.
What did you dream?
So I don't know if it's
okay. We told you what to dream.
After 9/11 happened, it made sense to me that maybe that's what it was. But at the same time, that's kind of what people do with Nostradamus is they take his writings and then they kind of go, well, it could have meant this, but they do it after the fact. And so
he's not the only one to prophesy that.
The one thing the one person that did amaze me was Nikola Tesla, when he pretty much, there's a quote where he says that we'll all have, the power of electricity and video and the camera and everything all in our pocket one day or something.
He sure
like
did.
this. Yeah. So that's pretty wild.
Well, there's also prophecy that Mount Vesuvius, you know where that is?
No, I've heard of it.
Vesuvius is in Italy, and it's prophesized that it will erupt in 2018. It has erupted twice before, once so long ago that I think it was double digits as far as numbers go, and once like 300 years ago. And this time the prophecies say that it could kill between 600,000 and 1 million people. Then it is also predicted or prophesied that that there would be major earthquakes, China and all over the place. Like the map, like when you look at a flat map of the globe with all the continents, it's all around Africa, China, a little bit in U.S. and Central America fault lines, and of course all through the sea. And they're saying massive earthquakes, and that China would be hit the hardest, is what these prophecies say, which will eventually, both of those events, the earthquakes and the volcano from Mount Vesuvius, all that will cause a major worldwide financial crisis.
People forget that we have one in Yellowstone. We're just sitting in the middle of America.
Yep.
And if that thing goes, if it blows, forget it. Black out the sun. It'll take out the whole U.S. pretty much.
I always just imagine that's where Smokey the Bear lives.
They actually tried to.
Only you can prevent me. I don't know nothing about forest.
They actually try to drill into the side, or they're going to. That's one of the things they're trying to do, is drill a hole to release the pressure so that it's less likely to blow.
In Yellowstone?
Yeah, like drill a hole in the side of it or something, like underground.
Yogi Bear.
I don't know.
I got a picnic basket. So did you hear about what the exchange of words? Not really between the two directly, but between Darren and Serge from SOAD.
Yeah, I think I read something about that.
Yeah, Darren had come out, I think it was Friday, and they was like, look, you know why we don't have an album? Because Serge won't come and do his part. Basically, he's the one holding the album back. Well, Serge heard that, and within an hour had a video out. And if you're interested, please look it up. Don't take what I say. But he was just like, you want me to be a part of that? Let's talk, because all the money's going. Darren gets more money than anybody else in the group, and he wants that. The group should be. He believes that a group, 4 guys, 5 guys, whatever, money should be split equally. No one should get more than the other. That writing songs should be a group effort, not 2 guys in a room and then they just come out and everybody has to play what they wrote. So he has his own take. I was very surprised that he was ballsy enough to come out and say, "Oh, you want to talk smack?" And it really wasn't talking smack. I think Darren was just trying to light a fire under his ass, and he lit one.
He also said he wants equal pay, that he doesn't get equal
That's
pay
what I said.
or something.
Yeah.
And all I know is that After I heard the guitarist's solo project, I think it's called Scars on Broadway, I immediately knew that he was a writing force in the band, like hugely, you know, because it sounded, it's just that sound, you know, even the vocals.
You know, I heard that Serge really wasn't into that kind of music and that he never really wanted to do that kind of music. I'm like, well, he sure did it for a decent, you know, I mean, they haven't had an album out, what, in 10 years? Or was it 2006? Was there like 2005? I think they did Mesmerize and Hypnotize. Was that the last one? So, but
he said he didn't want to do those 2 records.
But but you know, they sure did quite a bit of albums between what they came out like 97, because that's when I heard the kombucha mushroom paper. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't believe you.
And, is that the album with the sugar?
I sit in my desolate room. No lights, no music. You mind if I show and tell for a second?
No.
I got some vinyl, you know, to talk about.
Bring it on.
Now, I'll be honest, I've only listened to these albums once because they're recent. Tremonti, it's a Dying Machine. This came out, I want to say, June 8th. And I think I actually got this right around then, or a couple days early. But it's nothing major. I mean, it's a double album. 180 gram vinyl. I got this directly from Napalm Records. It's got all the words on the inside and whatnot. You know, it's pretty cool stuff. You know, song titles are on the back. It has, you know, and this is what you don't get with an MP3. You don't get, you know, all songs written by Tremonti, not Mark Tremonti. Tremonti. You don't get all these credits, you know, booking agents. And this is stuff, when I was a kid, I used to sit here and just read all this stuff. Dude, I could tell you everything Van Halen ever did, like all the names that were on this. I don't know why. I just, you know.
His brother, I believe, does all his artwork, too, for the records and stuff.
Yep. Let's see if he's credited in here. Illustration and design, Daniel Tremonti.
Yeah, and I think he also
Jordan Gentile at core12.com.
I think he also works for Fret 12 somehow or another, his brother.
Yeah, well, that might be what the Core 12 is, because, and I actually have quite a few Fret 12 shirts and whatnot. I like Fret 12. I think they're a great site for artists, like, you know, Tremonti. They give them another venue to, you know, just to do stuff. So
what else we got?
A little bit of Sevendust.
All right.
All I See Is War. So this is I actually prefer it when they fit the whole album onto one record, because you get 5 or 6 songs on a side and then you can flip, as opposed to 3 songs and flip. Like, by the time you get the needle on, go get a drink, it's time to turn the record over, you know?
Is that just, did Tremonti do that because it's a larger file size, or?
You know, I'm not sure why they do it. I can't
better
tell you.
Audio quality.
I have Deftones albums that are, you know, double albums, but side 4 is just an etched image of their, you know, Deftones logo with no music on it, because they were able to fit it on 3 sides. So I thought the vinyl on this one, on the All I See Is War, was pretty cool. It's a splatter vinyl. Not real sure
colorful
about why they picked the colors. If you want to check that out.
Oh yeah.
This one, what I really liked about it. Oh, it also comes with a download card, which I don't download them, but I should give those away to our subs. But it's just, I mean, you don't get this with an MP3, man. You do not have this in your hand right now. So, I mean, you've listened to the album, right?
Yeah.
We'll just cut through all the crap, technical difficulties, and so what's your take on it, man? This dude loves Sevendust and has his own opinions about every album. What's your favorite album by them? First of all, so everybody can know what your judgment on this. What's your favorite album by them?
My favorite album would have to be Animosity.
Yeah, that's this one here. It has a lot of the Animosity sound.
I think Cold Day Memory was the closest one to Animosity.
I liked Cold Day Memory, but see, I loved their first album. Just the rawness of Bitch and Black was just I like raw stuff. So
I think this album is good. I think probably my favorite track is Risen.
I liked Risen. I liked Cheers though as well. I liked the just that groove.
The albums by them that don't catch me right off the bat, I just have to marinate on them. I just have to let it play, and then it'll grow on me.
Oh, now this one I've not made it all the way through. I just got it in yesterday, or actually the day before, and I have been so busy I just haven't listened to the whole thing. This is Bad Wolves, Disobey. This album, what I have heard of it, of course, everybody's heard the Zombie song. Kudos to them for having such great success with that song, and I'm not kissing ass. People are buying this album based on Zombie, and let me tell you right now,
it's not like
no, and I knew that. I'd heard a song that they'd released on Sirius XM. I want to say last fall, because the song that I was like, Bad Wolves, what is this? Okay, and I'm driving, and I couldn't tell you which song it is, but something that they said in the song made me come home and write my own lyrics, which is weird, which is a trip. It just gave me a concept. It just gave me a concept for my own song, and it's not copying them at all. It's just something that they said triggered a thought in my head.
Sure, yeah.
I got a concept now. So, but no, this album is good, brutal. Like it's nothing like Zombie. Okay, Zombie was a cash grab and maybe a homage. I mean,
I agree.
From what I heard, I don't know if this is accurate or not. They were actually supposed to do the song with the lady from the Cranberries.
So it's not something they did after the fact.
She died. Didn't she commit suicide or no?
I think there was fentanyl or something involved.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was accidental death, but anyway, so she passed, so they weren't able to do the song with her, and they just did it on their own. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. So I haven't read that anywhere. I forget where I heard it from. This album I got for like $12 or $13 shipped to my door. I mean, I don't know what you're paying for the download of the MP3, if anybody does, but I mean, you're not going to get that. You know, this is worth the money, and if you're not into vinyl, that's why I got back into it. I wasn't trying to catch. Oh, it's trendy, it's cool. I want to be back into vinyl. One thing I didn't like, I couldn't tell what side was what. I could not tell. Okay, this will be like disc 1, side A and B, or disc 2, side A and B, or disc A, side 1 and 2, and disc B, side 1 and 2. It just depends on the. But what they did is they made it where it's such fine print that old people let me get my glasses. But this album is really cool. It is this, unlike Sevendust was amazing. I love, Sevendust, and it's always good to hear anything that they do. But this, I enjoyed it. I want to say more just because it is a newer sound to me. It's first thing on this on the album, dude, is just drop tune guitars that are just kicking you in the face. It's great. So, don't buy this if you're expecting it to be like, the Zombie song.
Now, the vocalist for this band, Bad Wolves,
yeah,
he stood in for Five Finger Death Punch's singer when he went to rehab. So he actually finished a tour out or something with.
Is it one of their guitarists or something? Their manager?
I don't know.
Zoltan or whatever. I can't, they all have goofy names. I'm not even going to bother with this right now. But, yeah, one of the guys that plays in Five Finger is their manager.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you're wondering why they're on tour together and why they have such good times, well, they're obviously close friends.
It's funny, the first two records you brought out was Sevendust and Tremonti. Actually, I believe John Conley from Sevendust and Tremonti, they live near each other in Orlando, and they hang out and all that.
Well, wouldn't you?
Him and
that'd be cool, right?
Both their wives.
Yeah. Well, they both have families, right? So, wives, kids, all that good stuff. Yeah, man. I think it's awesome, man. I think Clint's Clint's pretty cool about, you know, giving to his fans as far as I don't know if you like friend him on Facebook or whatever, but he's pretty cool about tossing up videos every now and then. It could just be him and the kids, or him sitting at his desk trying to pop something into a DAW. You know, I think it's pretty cool that these guys do that stuff and kind of give us a glimpse into their world, and you know, their world's not too much different than ours. You know, it's just their jobs are different. The way that they make money. So yeah, Rob Zombie finished his new album, and is going to be released in 2019.
And he's also Rob Zombie also has he's making a third film in the House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and now there's a third one. I can't remember the name of it, but
wasn't a huge fan of the first two. I mean, they were needless horror, but go ahead.
I liked House of a Thousand Corpses. I didn't. Devil's Rejects was
yeah. I'm with you on that.
But anyway, this is the third installment, which this is his own story. It's not like a remake like he did of Halloween or anything. So, but what's neat about it is him being a director and a filmmaker. You know, he's out on tour, and he's showing the trailer to his audience. You know, over the
oh wow, that'd be cool. Yeah,
that's pretty neat.
Did you ever have a friend, somebody that you had respect for, and this is in no way I've had this happen.
This is
about
interesting.
About 3 years ago, I had this happen. A person that I've known for a long time. They lived in Melbourne, and they're like, hey man, check out you know my new band, and they put out a song. It was on like SoundCloud or something. And as much as I love this guy, he's so cool. He's fun to party with, although he's got me in trouble a couple of times. I didn't like the music. So, I mean, tell me what I should do there. And if I come across that again, somebody says, dude, bro, you got to check out my music. Hey, man, I haven't talked to you in a while, man. You doing good? Yeah? What's that link? All right, text me a link, man, and I'll check it out. I'm sure it's going to be badass because he's done music before that was killer. And then you hear it and you're like, no. So, I mean, what do I do? Do I just tell, yeah, man, good job? Or as a friend, do I owe it to him to say, bro, you're better than this. Whatever you've gotten yourself into, I know you're better. That's not.
Personally, the way I would handle it is I don't think you owe it to him to give them constructive criticism. However, if they directly ask your opinion, then give them an honest opinion.
Well, this guy knows that I don't hold back, man. So I kind of like feel like I didn't want to be rude to him. So I was just like, yeah, thumbs up. You know, I didn't comment on it. It's like, yeah, there you go. Like it. I didn't say good stuff, man. Killer. When y'all putting out a new song, you know, more stuff. You got an album coming out, video. Right. When are you going on tour?
Then you did the proper thing.
I don't know, man. I didn't want to encourage it because I didn't like. I've heard his work before and it was much better. But he changed bands and it's just like this, bro. They're holding you back. Somebody in that band's holding you back.
When you're writing music, I mean, they're not all gonna be amazing. You know, I mean, you'd like them to be, and you try to cherry pick the best ones, but you know.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, they can't all be zingers, man. But
they can't all be singles.
Hey Siri, I see a little silhouette of a man.
Just a poor assistant. Nobody loves me. It's just a poor assistant from a poor family that spared its life from this monstrosity. Easy.